Hi guys. Okay, so we have done our about statements and we have highlighted the text looking for information that we think is important that would help us make a point in our argument essay. The next step that we need to do in our reading is we need to respond or reflect on the things that we highlighted. So what we mean by this is, why did I highlight this? What stood out to me? What are my thoughts of why this is important? We're going to use this information later on when we're writing our commentary in our argument paragraph. So let's work through this first article again, and I'm going to kind of talk you through my reflections, and then on the next two articles I'm just going to show you what my reflections are, and then again you'll do the same thing with your vaccination essay. So the first thing I see here is that I highlighted no one works full-time in America should have to live in poverty, and this word poverty kind of stands out to me. It's a pretty harsh word, okay? So I think that word choice is something that I would want to talk about in my essay. Maybe, I don't know yet for sure, but I'm interacting with the text, thinking about my thoughts. This is going to be my reflection. Remember, we write reflections on the right. If you wrote your about statements on the right, that's fine. Just put your reflections on the left, okay? So this word poverty is a pretty harsh word. It implies terrible conditions. Okay, and again, like before, when I'm writing on here, you guys are putting onto your handout as well. Okay, you think about people who are in poverty, they have like no food or no clothes. These are all things I could talk about in my essay as my commentary, okay? Playing off that word poverty. And we don't always have to talk about the specific word choice. It can be phrases that we respond to. So this idea here, where it's the 3/4 of America, there's a lot of people that want this. So I'm going to make sure to just make that note. A lot of people want that minimum wage increase. Okay? Or they think it's a good idea. Another note, I'm going to scroll down a little bit. I don't need to respond to everything I highlighted right now. I'm just trying to get some of my ideas on paper so that I don't forget when I actually go writing out my essay. Another thing that I really I feel strongly about that I want to respond to is the fact that already a lot of the states have already upped that. So that's this part here. Okay. So clearly, if it's working in some states, it would work in all states, you would think. Okay, and that gives us an opportunity to look at how it's working. So we have a model to see if it does work. Oops. And again, these are my thoughts just as I was highlighting. What did I think about? Why did I highlight that? Why did I think this was an important point? What's my reaction to it? And these are all things I'm going to use in my commentary later on. Okay, so we're going to go a little bit farther down and onto, for me, the part where it talks about inflation. Sorry, I gotta check my notes while we're doing this. And that it hasn't been keeping up with inflation. If things cost more, how do we expect people to pay for them if we don't give them more? Okay. So our notes on that is this part here, the part that hasn't kept up with inflation. If costs more, how can people pay for it? If they don't make more money. Okay, so again, my reflections, my ideas based on what I've read and what I highlighted. Why did I highlight that? What questions did I have? What things kind of stood out for me? That's what I'm writing in my right-hand margin as reflections. And again, we're going to use these for our commentary or for our responses within our secondary supports. Okay. The next part, the Economic Policy Institute estimates an increase of 2.85 in a minimum wage would boost wages for 28 million workers. That is a lot of people to make more money. And that means that the more money they spend, the more money they make, the more money they're going to spend. Okay? So lots of people would make significantly more and thus be able to spend more. So that would equal spend more. Okay. All right. So the next points that the author makes, it goes to the other side now. So we're going to kind of reflect on this other side, is that the unemployment rate is already so hard. Okay, so this is a problem because the unemployment rate is so high already. So there's so many without jobs. And if the minimum wage was raised, they wouldn't be able to hire more. They wouldn't be able to afford to hire more people. Okay. And then we talked about it hurting the younger people the most because they hold these jobs. And this is a problem because what they're afraid of is that adults will start to take these jobs from the younger people. Okay. So that's kind of my reflection here. Adults will take. So we're kind of leaving them behind, right? The younger people. Okay. Then we have that the fact that it's we don't give the small businesses are left without hardly any options. Okay, so that again is really hurting them. They're left with very few positive options. And again, these are just my thoughts, my own reflections, my own responses to the things that I highlighted. And I may or may not use these in my commentary later on, but I'm starting to think about and remember why I highlighted things that I did. Okay. This also, the idea that the hourly rate may go up, but it may actually hurt the take-home pay because their hours may get cut. And this idea that it means more jobs are going to computers or will go to computers. So you're losing that human aspect in society. And I know that writing isn't the best. It's hard for me to write on this. So if you have questions, you can stop it, try to figure it out, or you can ask me later on what it says. But I'm writing what I'm saying, so you can always rewind the video and check out what I said so that you can see it instead of what it's written. Okay? And my last reflection is this idea that they just can't make it on their own. So I'm going to just put here, the bills just pile up. And it's not, they lose their houses, don't eat, get into debt. So it's kind of a vicious cycle. So it kind of piles up. It's super negative, this life that these people have to live when they only get paid minimum wage. So those are my reflections for the first article. Again, I may not use all of these when I start to write, but it's my thought process. Why did I highlight these things? What kind of stood out to me? Like if we go back to the idea of the word poverty, that stands out to me because it's such a harsh word. It makes you think terrible things. You are responding in this reflection part about why you highlighted the things that you did, why did they stand out to you, why are they important, why, without just repeating what the quote says. And again, we're going to use those later on in our commentary, hopefully. Okay, and you don't have to use them for the commentary. You may adjust them later when you start writing your commentary, and I teach you a little bit more specifically about commentary. But for right now, we're just reflecting before the article is completely out of our mind. Okay, so I want you to, up on the board here, to start off class the next day, we are going to have the commentary for the other two articles up there. You're going to copy that, and then you'll start writing commentary for, or not commentary, excuse me, reflection for the other two articles on your, or for all three of your articles on your vaccination packet. Okay? Thanks, guys. Make sure you fill out your Google form for me on this video.